health-wise, I've always been in a reasonable place. I've never had any major sort of illnesses or restrictions on activity and stuff like that. But I think from a like a dietary and exercise point of view, I've always been hit and miss, up and down, feast and famine, whichever analogy you want to use. I find it easy to focus for small periods of time on doing the right thing, but I find it hard, or found it hard, to get into a routine and a sort of a discipline that meant that those results stayed. So I found that my weight fluctuated quite a bit, and therefore obviously I think my fitness probably fluctuated quite a bit. And my mindset was one of like, if I'm not doing it perfectly, I'm not doing it at all. So sod it, let's give it a miss, etc. So I think it wasn't so much the physical aspect for me as more like the mental aspect and the attitude and mindset issues, I think, that were holding me back. Disappointed, frustrated, confused, sort of unhopeful, I suppose, if that's a word, unhopeful. To a certain extent, I've always been, all or nothing, it's really just, I suppose it is the fact that, as one does get older, it does get harder, and you find that the things that you used to do in your youth, don't work anymore. So the whole, going, not worrying about your health and fitness for 6 months and then spending 3 months getting it back, doesn't work anymore. It's more like you don't worry about your health and fitness for 3 weeks and then spend 3 years getting it back. So you need a different approach. Probably like 20 odd years ago, I did the Atkins diet, which I did enjoy, I have to say. Bacon and egg for breakfast and steak for lunch and chicken for dinner. Happy days. Probably not the best for your health, but enjoyable. I've always gone to the gym, sometimes more regularly than others, or I've tried like the odd, following some guy off Instagram and whatever. I've never really been one for counting calories, because I always find that quite depressing. So generally speaking, I would either go for some intermittent fasting. One time I fasted for like 10 days. I've tried lots of different things that, as I say, to have worked to a greater or lesser extent over time. Obviously, you can't fast forever, so that's not sustainable. Dr. Atkins died of a heart attack, so that's probably not sustainable either. So I think, I'm a bloke, so I like to have a target and a goal. I like to see some results, and I think you see the results quite quickly with some of those things, but then it plateaus and you get disillusioned and give up. I think that the difference for me was that Mike was very much around mindset, not the sort of physical act of losing weight. It's about how can you change your mindset so that it becomes part of what you do on a regular basis. And I think, some other people say that as well, and some of them are silly and some of them are good. And like I said, Mike fell into that quadrant of mindset and sort of material change and being a decent bloke. It's probably like 70% of the things we discuss, if not more, are around mindset and mental change, rather than what's your workout problem and program. And what are you eating? We've hardly discussed anything really about eating. But I think to me that whole thing, we talk a lot about books, self-development books, audible books, what's on your list, what's on my list, how did you find that, what did you learn? So there's a lot more around, like I say, mental mindset and process and program that you can then just take with you. Because I'm not going to go on a video call with Mike every week for the rest of my life. He'll be happy to hear. You've got to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, and to do that, you've got to have a process and a structure that works for you. Mike was great as a coach. I mean, he's very personable. He's always upbeat, always positive. He's always got some new nugget of knowledge that he's bringing in. But it's not a smorgasbord of stuff from everyone else. He's got a program that he takes you through, which is around understanding what your own core values are, so that you're acting in a way that's congruent with what you believe and what you want to achieve. And therefore, how can you use that as a big motivator to get to where you want to be? Looking at the whole sort of balanced approach. Trying to make sure that all areas of your life are developing. It's not just about, losing weight or going to the gym or whatever. It's about having a rounded approach that balances out all areas of your life. So I think he wouldn't say this himself, but I think he's very well read and brings a lot of insight and experience from other things that he's read. But fundamentally, he knows his onions and he knows what he's talking about, and he's able to communicate it in a positive way, and a non-judgmental way, and an encouraging way. Most important thing that I've achieved is that I have a framework and an understanding of how to be successful on an ongoing basis. I've got a lot fitter and stronger, and I'm a different shape. The shape needs thinning out a bit, but I'm happy with that. And I know the process that I need to carry on doing to achieve that. It's not a magic formula that if it doesn't work, you throw your hands up in horror and go, this is a waste of time. It's a set of simple tasks that that if you do them every day, there's a like I say, a compound effect that will generate better results. So I think it's taken away that all or nothing attitude and sort of said, it's about process. And as long as you keep following the process, may take 2 months, may take 2 years, but you'll get to where you want to go. Motivated, knowledgeable, structured. Again, more than one word. I have a clear vision for how to take it forward. The fact that I'm proud of myself is something that I'm proud about. Because like everyone else, I'm very much my worst critic, and I still find it hard to say I'm proud of myself, because it doesn't come naturally. But I am proud of the way that I've developed, and one of those things that I've developed is the ability to be less of a self-critic and more of a self-supporter. So yes, I am. Yeah, ultimately, certainly from my perspective in work, we spend a lot of time focusing on other things, other objectives, the business, other people, leadership, training, development, and I don't spend enough time focusing on myself. So, if you want to do a little bit of self-care, which is very trendy nowadays, then I think this is something that people should do, because it's about making sure that what you are trying to do with your life is in line with what your values are, and giving you the tools to achieve your goals. So the cost of inaction is much greater than the cost of action. It's not for free. Anything valuable is not free. But the cost of doing nothing is greater than the cost of doing something, because I think the benefits will be evident to you fairly quickly. And like I say, it's not a on-off fix. You don't get something that runs out once you stop working with Mike. You get something that you're able to keep for yourself and use for yourself for forever. So get on with it.